Does gaming have a woke problem? A couple of days ago, Game Awards happened, and a lot of new games were announced. Cool games: Slay the Spire 2, Elden Ring Night Rain, Projekt Robot, Borderlands 4, Mafia: The Old Country, and of course, The Witcher 4, among many others. And from what I've been seeing, a lot of people are upset that Ciri has been a victim of the modern gaming industry, making the female characters uglier on purpose to please their distributors. Now, I have heard the theory that games nowadays have to be diverse in order to boost their ESG, and that's how they get more money from BlackRock.
I saw this conspiracy theory. I'm not sure how true it is. But you know how like so many multiplayer games have a cast of like incredibly diverse characters? It's like there'll be different pronouns or different ethnicities or different sexualities. Apparently there's a thing like, I don't know how true this is. This is like schizo theories, right? There's a company called BlackRock, and they're like the biggest company in the world because they own assets in all the other companies. So they're bigger than like Amazon, bigger than Apple, because they own shares in all these companies. And apparently they have like this thing called like, the guy that owns it, Larry Fink, he's like ultra lefty. And he believes in like something called ESG, like environmental, social, and governance. And it's like companies will purposely put diverse characters in a game to boost their ESG score, even though they know the player base will hate it, because they'll actually receive more funding from BlackRock. Because it'll be like, okay, this company here increased their ESG score. We're going to pump 500 mil into their company. Even though they know the player base will absolutely hate this choice, they'll do it anyway, knowing that they're going to get more money from BlackRock.
While I would not be surprised at all if that was the case, it would actually explain a lot. I don't really see how this applies in the case of The Witcher 4. It's a CD Projekt Red game. It's basically a tradition for them to make something look completely different in-game compared to the trailer. This is also a very early look at the game. Cyberpunk was in development for about 8 years. Do you think this game will be coming out in the next 2? So yeah, I don't expect this game to be completed anytime soon. Now, in comparison to the Witcher 4 drama, we have Intergalactic, a new game coming from Naughty Dog, written by who else than Neil Druckmann, the same writer who pushed out Amy Hennig and took Uncharted 4 from her, as well as hijacking the Last of Us story in The Last of Us 2 after the original co-writer, Evan Wells, departed the project. I could go more in depth, but I'll save that for a retrospective on the Last of Us franchise if you'd be interested. Long story short, without Hennig and Wells, Druckmann's stories have not gone down well with the audiences. So yes, I completely understand why there is doubt around Intergalactic. And while there could very well be a good reason for why the main character looks the way she does, it doesn't mean it will work as a mascot or a selling point for the game with a very different audience to that of The Last of Us. This situation could very well end up like Concord. But in defense of Intergalactic, it is a Naughty Dog game. They have a lot of experience in this industry, and if they can make this a truly enjoyable good game, none of this will matter. Because all that matters in the end is that a game that the player base enjoys will sell. With all that being said, I do agree that this modern woke culture does intrude the gaming space. We have seen that with Sweet Baby Inc., possibly BlackRock now, and more. There have been games like Avowed, Hellblade, or Forspoken, which are honestly just pure slop games. There is a lot of agenda pushing in modern gaming, and whether it's down to the developers making these decisions, or if it's a massive corporation like BlackRock pushing them, it doesn't really matter. But on the other hand, there is a whole lot of paranoia as well. It doesn't make any sense to me that people are complaining about Ciri being the protagonist of The Witcher 4. We knew that for like 5 years already, no? At the end of The Witcher 3, you had a short gameplay part where you played as her already. And everyone loved that and wanted to play more of it. So why is this a problem now? And if you are a Witcher fan especially, you know that ever since the beginning of the franchise, almost everything revolves around Ciri. She is the chosen one. Context is important, so let's calm down on this one. I'm still excited to see what The Witcher 4 will be. Will Intergalactic be as good? With what I have seen so far, I kinda doubt it, but The Last of Us was technically just another zombie game, and look what they have done with that. Uncharted was pretty much a Tomb Raider-like game, and that turned out pretty good as well. So let's stay on the lookout. But I do understand that Neil Druckmann is involved, so take it with a grain of salt. To recap, yes, there is an unnecessary push of ideologies in the game industry. But not everything that looks like it would fit that mold does fit that mold. Go make your own research, don't send blind hate to anyone, and use critical thinking. That's what's important. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Maybe it's just me, but I feel like the market for masculine, non-conventionally attractive female leads in games isn't as big as the video game industry thinks it is. And I was thinking about this character, obviously. I think this is like Intergalactic or something like that. The graphics for this are really, really good. If you don't like the character or whatever, there are a lot of paintings that I'm not a fan of, but I can admire that it looks really good. I think that if you are looking at a space bounty hunter that has 80s retro aesthetic that are about bounty hunting and shooting people and fighting with laser swords, you are looking at a super majority male audience. If you try to make a character that doesn't appeal to the main audience of the genre that you're designing a game in, you're going to have that game not do well. You can talk about like, oh, people are misogynist, they're racist, they're bigots, they're stupid gamers, you shouldn't listen to them. But at the end of the day, like, you're not going to bully those people into buying the game. It didn't work with Concord, it didn't work with Veilguard, it just doesn't work. I mean, Naughty Dog released the trailer with the comments turned off. You don't release a trailer with comments turned off if you think you're going to get a lot of good comments. It's very obvious that this game did not have a good reception with audiences, right? Whether you agree with it or not, you gotta look at the numbers, and that's it.